All right, shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation. Big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the live. Big Q representing the Coma. Much love to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. In this episode, man, we're going to talk about Saints looking at wide receivers. Indiana Pro Day, man, has arrived, and the black and gold are interested in a pair of very productive NFL ready wide receivers that were part of a national championship team that could help the Saints. Let's get into the article right here. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the share button as we get going, as the Saints could look to bolster the offense in a big way in the upcoming 2026 NFL draft. The Saints are young and talented, but they need to add more at the wide receiver position and depth and talent behind Chris Olave on offense. Fortunately for the Saints, there are plenty of talented wide receivers in the NFL draft. The Saints didn't address the wide receiver issue in free agency. There's still a chance to target somebody like a Brian Thomas Jr. or A.J. Brown in trade, but using the draft seems like the most likely option for the team to undergo. NFL draft analyst Tony Pauline of Essentially Sports recently reported that the Saints have been showing interest in the Indiana Hoosier wide receivers Elijah Sarratt and Omar Cooper Jr. ahead of the 26th draft. Both wide receiver prospects are projected to go around the second to third rounds unless somebody reaches for Cooper in the first round. So the Saints targeting these guys. Cooper's teammate Elijah Sarratt is also getting high praise. Sarratt's range begins towards the end of the second round and extends to the middle of the third frame. Pauline wrote, "Keep the New Orleans Saints in mind as they own the 73rd pick and the Colts, who could be called to the clock 5 selections later with the pick 78 unless they make a trade. The Saints will address the receiver and tight end positions in the draft according to sources. It could be a situation where the team takes Kenyon Sadiq with his first round pick. I don't see that happening. Then draft a pass rush in the second round and finish out on day 2 with a receiver such as Sarratt. I can confirm the Saints spent extensive time with both Sarratt and Cooper after IU Pro Day last week, landing one of those two in the second or third round, assuming the Saints don't address the issue in the first round, would make a lot of sense. Now, Cooper is a better draft prospect if he's on the board when the Saints select him in the second round. He's a good guess on who the Saints is. Anybody guess on who the Saints going to select in the draft? There's so many places they can go. But if the Saints don't address the wide receiver position in the first or second round, Sarratt could be their target in the third. He's dynamic with the ability to make defenders miss. After a big year with Indiana, he flew up the draft boards and landed on the Saints' radar. Expect the Saints to target a wide receiver, maybe one of Indiana's plays makers within the first 3, I say, or 4 rounds. It's going to be interesting to see if the Saints do that, because there are all other positions of need the black and gold need to attend to as well. And it depends on order of importance or perhaps best player available, depending on the Saints' big board of how they see these wide receivers. But obviously, these 2 wide receivers were really big in the success of Indiana's championship run this past year. They were big, making big catches. Sarratt's a big target. Cooper is a speed demon who's really good at route running. Very stellar wide receiver. And like I said, these guys had big playability for the entire year. They did some really wonderful stuff, man, to be quite honest with you. But let's kind of look at the NFL pro cards on these guys to get more information. Here is Omar Cooper Jr. He's 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. As you can see right there, his grade is a 6.39, which says he will eventually be a plus starter for you. He's a big playmaker, man, no doubt about it. Excellent player. All right, but anyway, he ran a 4.42 in the 40. That's great. A 37-inch vertical jump, as you could tell. Man, he lists him as a possibly Deebo Samuel because how they utilized him, right? He has to get bigger and more stronger, muscle up for the NFL game. We know that. But if you could take a look at just the last several years of production from this guy, and particularly you look at the last 2 years in 24 and 25, he ranked 4th in FBS with 21.2 yards per catch, 28 catches over 500 yards, 7 touchdowns, played 12 games, 4 starts. Even had some rushing stacks, 2 rushing carries for 23 yards, 11.5, and a TD there. And last year's championship run, he was second team All Big Ten, tied for third in FBS with 13 receiving touchdowns. He led the team with 69 catches, almost 1,000 receiving yards. He averaged over 13 yards per catch and played in all 16 games with 14 starts for the national championship Indiana Hoosiers. 3 rushes for 74 yards. He averaged almost 25 yards per rush when he did and had a touchdown. So there is some ties as well, as you can see, as far as Saints concerned. Father Omar, who is, senior, played basketball at Law Tech and was a wide receiver coach at Lawrence North High School. So you can see right here, there is some ties to Louisiana that his father here would be interested to see if the Saints see him. They obviously are going to scout this kid, so they see him as a possible fit for what the Saints are trying to do. He has a size, big game mindset. Nothing's too big for him in terms of him making plays, and he's a solid wide receiver. He's 4 guys. I mean, it depends on who you like, but the guy, you can't dispute his talent, right? But big, strong target whose 2-year rise is bolstered by a translatable tape. While he was full-time slot receiver in 25, Cooper has played outside as well. He can stem and drive pass press with his strength. He has potential early acceleration to climb past the nickel backs into the top position to challenge deep. His routes lack polish. He is average in and out of quickness at breakpoints, but his rugged once the ball is in his hands. His ability to add yards after contact could earn Cooper more carries than we saw from him in Indiana. Fighting for each catch, space, and blocking for the running game are areas where he needs improvement. Cooper is an ascending slot bully with day 2 value. You can see right there, some people say day 2, some people say day 3. It depends. According to Lance Zierlein, the scout, he said he posted 20 touchdown catches since the start of the 24 season, welcomes physical play and wins through the contact, versatile enough to be more than a slot option, creates lateral separation in beating press, digs hard lateral separation with beating the press, digs hard through drive phase before snapping head around, first and second acceleration catches defenders off guard, catches them off, explosive leaper who can pluck high throws at their apex, rugged runner who can break free from multiple tacklers. Sound like a gutty wide receiver we would like. His weakness is inefficient getting in and out of intermediate routes, average contested catch success for physical profile, needs quicker recognition and adjustment on the underthrows, acceleration out of the stem is average, disappointing effort and physicality when asked to run block. All seem things that are coachable for the team, but you can't dispute his determination of how he played. He is a guy that plays at a very high position. Yeah, his routes do need, like he says, some polish. It's not bad. He just needs to smooth out his routes. It'd be a little bit more or less, I ain't gonna say predictable, but some of his route tree is a little jagged. It's a little rough. It needs to be rounded out and more smoother. But he has the acceleration, has the speed, has the physicality. He has the mindset. He has what it takes to be a good wide receiver in the NFL, and could possibly the Saints see him as that guy. Now let's go to his teammate, Elijah Sarratt, who is a bigger target. He's 6'2.5", 210 pounds, and he's given a grade of 6.22 and will eventually be an average starter. They talk about Sarratt there, and you can see we don't have his 40 time here, but he's not known to be a fast guy, but he's more like a possession guy. But he did do a lot of positive stuff as well, right? You can see here last year, second team All Big Ten, led the FBS with 15 receiving touchdowns, 65 catches, over 800 yards, averaged 13 yards per catch, started 14 games for the national championship, missed 2 games due to injury. His brother Josh plays safety at James Madison. He does a lot of positive things. The year before, he's not a one-hit wonder either. The year before, he was All Big Ten Conference, led the team with 53 catches, almost 1,000 yards, averaged 18 yards per catch, 8 receiving touchdowns, and he started 13 games. So you could put together multiple years with him and even go back to James Madison when he was a first-team All-Sun Belt Conference player. He led their team with 82 catches and over almost 1,200 receiving yards. He averages 14.5 yards per catch, then with 8 touchdowns and played 13 games with 10 starts there. And then in his freshman year at St. Francis, He was first team all Northeast Conference. He tied fifth in the FCS with school record tying 13 receiving touchdowns. He had 42 catches, 700 yards, almost 17 yards per catch, and played 12 games with 12 starts. So the guy is incredibly productive, regardless of where you go. Elijah Sarratt is a productive receiver. Now, they saying he'd be an average starter for you, because they're, he's not counting, the speed aspect to it, but that's why they like Omar Cooper Jr. a little better, because the breakout potential. But he's a solid possession guy, man, that get those contested catches, physical wide receiver that's block as well. So, I mean, it's a give and a go depending on what you like at the receiver spot. Big receiver whose competitiveness, elite catch phase execution allow him to overcome his athletic limitations, while his nickname Waffle House, because he's said to be always open. Sarratt sees a high number of contested catches versus man coverage. He's tight-hipped with below-average foot quickness, falls below the line as a separator once the ball goes up, though. However, he consistently beats corners with size, body control, and catch space strength to clean up. He'll face press matchups that leave his catch column dry, but he's built and wired for possession targets over the first two levels. He's incredibly productive. Everywhere he goes, he was productive. He just doesn't come with the speed. But listen, regardless of that, he doesn't have the athleticism and the speed, but notice his average per catch is very high for a guy that's not known to be a blazer or a runner. And it's been over the summation of the 4 years that he's been in college. When he was at St. Francis, he averaged 16, almost 17 yards per catch with 13 receiving touchdowns. When he was at James Madison for 1 year, he had 82 catches. He averaged 14 and a half yards per catch, had 8 touchdowns then. When the first year he was with Indiana, he led the team with 53 catches. He averaged 18 yards per catch, had 8 receiving touchdowns and an 18.1 per catch average. Last year, he had 65 grabs and averaged 13 yards per catch. So regardless of where he came from and where he plays, Sarratt averages big despite the limitation of speed. He still gets double-digit per yard catch, right? His strengths torched Oregon twice last season, posting 15 catches for almost 200 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Ducks. Rugged and urgent when battling through physical coverage. Disciplined route running disguises his route limitations. Speed changes, crisp cuts, create space at route breaks. Uses big frame and catch space strength to dominate the 50-50s. Dominated back shoulder balls and slot fades. Tough to bring down with the ball in his hands. Deadened legs and dots feet in bounds at the boundary. His weakness is kind of a tight strider, below average release quickness. He's not a speed demon. We'll find blockades against stronger NFL press. Just got to get stronger. A noticeable loss of speed through stems and turns, but he still breaks tackles, still averages a double-digit yard per catch, despite the athletic limitation. I mean, he's working. Downfield routes are easily phased by good man coverage, lacks second gear to run under deep throw, labors opening hips, and makes reactive off-frame. Listen, man, all this is very coachable. The athletic speed side of Sarratt game is not there, but he's a possession guy, a 50-50 catch guy. You throw him the ball on the sideline, he's catching it. He's a good blocker as well. He has to, kind of firm up on his routes and get better there. He's a better route runner than Omar Cooper Jr. is, because Omar Cooper Jr. has the blessing of speed. But Elijah Sarratt, despite not having athletic speed, this kid's still able to average double-digit catches every year of his college career, which is something if you're the Saints you're looking for. And listen, I don't know if he fits what the Saints have going on in terms of the Saints like their big wide receivers to have speed. They like their big wide receivers to get upfield, to have some verticality to them as well. So would that be a problem for Sarratt? Obviously not for Omar Cooper, but if you're looking for more bigger physical size wide receivers, Elijah Sarratt is an interesting choice. And to be honest with you, we're in volume 12 going to be coming up this upcoming Tuesday for the mock drafts. Listen, I've picked Elijah Sarratt at least twice on the mock draft. He's a hell of a receiver. He's a hell of a receiver. That is one of these guys that the team will love, man. He's productive. He's always there. He's physical. He blocks. He don't have the speed, but he'll tear you up in the red zone and along the sideline. He gets yards, man. The guy they call him Waffle House because he knows where to go in the zone. He catches the ball. He takes hits and gets up and keep on ticking. So like I said, Sarratt might not have the luxury of speed, but he does have the luxury of power, solid hands, and physical play. So regardless if he have it or not, he averaging at least 13 yards per catch. Without speed, that to me is a major positive. That means he working his ass off, man. All right, what do y'all think about Elijah Sarratt and Omar Cooper Jr.? Put it in the comment section. Let me know which one of these guys that you like the most, because obviously we're going to get either one of them. We ain't going to end up getting both of them. It'll be either one of the others, depending on where they go in the draft or how high the Saints have them positioned on their particular board, because either one of these guys could really help the Saints out for real. With Chris Olave, with the Saints not finishing his extension quite yet, and the fact that we have so many unproven wide receivers currently on the team, you'll add another rookie to a talented room that already has 11 wide receivers in it. It'll be fun. 'Cause I know a lot of people looking at Jalen Polk to see what he can do, but nothing wrong with adding competition in depth to your team to improve areas of the team. I have no problem or issue with that whatsoever. So y'all chime in the section. Let me know how y'all feel about these two players, man. And that's all I got for you. So shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. Please feel free to get your prop bets in at FanDuel. Also, big ups to the family. Shout out to our Patreon champions and YouTube membership family for all your terrific support. Please feel free to go to patreon.com/the Pro Media Network if you're not a subscriber, and join us there to help the movement going forward, or simply hit the membership button here on our YouTube platform. With that being said, man, check out the links in the description for merch and all kind of stuff, man. That's all I got. Hit the notification bell for future content, man. A lot's going on right now. We're in April, the draft coming up, a lot of stuff. So if you want to be in the know, hit that notification bell, man. Make sure yours is hit so you can get these alerts like clockwork. With that being said, I'm out. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Much love, peace, and who that tell you.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.